Good morning. My name is Jerry Carr, and I'm here to welcome you today to Bay Area UU Church on this bright and beautiful Sunday morning, hot as it is. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrive today in body or mind or spirit, whether here in person or online, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome here. If it's your first time or your 500th time, you are welcome here. We are glad you are here. Joss was supposed to be the presenter today, but she's not feeling well, so we're covering for her. But I wanted you to know she sent this reading. Everyone coming together to help was a literal demonstration of the message of my sermon and the point of the harvest table ritual. To feel belonging, we bring what we can, receive what we are willing, become vulnerable, and ask for help.
Good morning. I'm Maddie Raymond. I will serve as your worship associate today. Lighting our chalice this morning is going to be Elise, Isla, and Cora.
Before we have our opening song today, I'd like to invite Cassie.
I got to read this.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, well.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. The flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. Its enduring flame offers warmth to those who need comfort and light to those who seek understanding. It purifies and transforms this sanctuary into a sacred space. As we kindle it today, may its flame burn within us, clear, steady, and strong.
Now I'd like to invite Cassie up to invoke the elements.
Oh.
All right. Guardians of the watchtowers of the East, elemental air, we call into our sanctuary your gifts of story and imagination. We call forth our own powers to connect and communicate. Be here now. Hail and welcome. Guardians of the watchtowers of the South, elemental fire, we invite laughter and transformation to our space. We shine our own light, bold and bright. Be here now. Hail and welcome. Guardians of the watchtowers of the West, elemental water, we call into the compassion and healing water we offer each other and receive the blessings of being together. Be here now. Hail and welcome. Guardians of the watchtowers of the North, elemental earth, we call your stability and wisdom. We learn forgiveness and appreciation as all things come from and return to you. Ground us in your time together. Be here now. Hail and welcome. Spirit of life, loving kindness, inherent goodness of humanity, we acknowledge and welcome your presence among us now, opening ourselves to bring into being. So mote it be and blessed be.
Our opening song this morning is number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. Please stand. We gather this morning in this sacred place, kindling a flame in our chalice and in our hearts. We come for a different kind of worship, one that may not include biblical sermons, yet it's holy nonetheless. We gather to honor our covenant, take part in congregational life, and do the work that is needed for this community to thrive. As people of faith, we are guided by love, the love that binds us in covenant. Please join me in affirming our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. And Liz McCorkadal will do our Spanish. Thanks, Liz.
El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. La búsqueda de la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es su oración. Vivir en paz, en comunidad, buscar el conocimiento en libertad, servir a la humanidad en fraternidad. Así es como pactamos entre nosotros.
Good morning. My name is Gloria Miller. I am the Director of Religious Education here at Bay Area Unitarian Universalist Church. And my pronouns are she, her. Our tale for all ages today is entitled The Meat of the Tongue. It's a Kenyan folk tale. Long ago along the coast of East Africa, a sultan and sultana lived in the grandest of palaces. The sultan spared no expense for his beloved wife. She lived in the finest room, enjoyed every luxury she desired. Each and every day, the sultan gave her new clothing or a new jewel, and he loved to look at her wearing it. Even after years of marriage, he was madly in love with the sultana. But he was worried. When they had first met, she had sparkling eyes, bright red cheeks, broad hips, and flesh that jiggled. But as the years had gone by, she had grown pale and thin. Her eyes had become dull. The Sultan consulted his doctor and every wise man that he could find, but none of their potions helped. One advisor told him that beyond the palace walls, the wives of most of the poor fishermen had flesh that jiggled and sparkle and color in their cheeks and their eyes. In desperation, the Sultan sent his advisors to uncover the fishermen's secrets. The advisors wound their way into the humblest part of town, seeking an answer to the Sultan's question. Most of the fishermen shrugged their shoulders. Finally, down an especially narrow alleyway, the advisor found a man who cautiously mumbled, "It is the meat of the tongue." When the Sultan heard this, he was overjoyed by the simplicity of the solution. He ordered his cooks to prepare the finest tongues that they could buy. And so the sultana was served tongue of ox, tongue of gazelle, tongue of ostrich, tongue of tuna, and still she languished, remaining thin, pale, and lifeless. The Sultan thought long and hard. Perhaps the fisherman who had revealed his secret could cure his wife. And so he sent word to ask whether the fisherman would consider caring for his beloved. In exchange, the fisherman's plump wife could come and live at the palace. Now, the fisherman's wife was eager to experience a life of luxury, and the sultana was too weak to disagree. So the two women exchanged places. Before long, the Sultan heard that color had returned to the cheeks of his wife. Her eyes had begun to shine, and her hips were filling out. Meanwhile, in the palace, the poor fisherman's wife was growing thin, weak, and lifeless. More than anything, she wanted to go home. How could this be? What was the poor fisherman's secret? The Sultan personally accompanied the fisherman's wife home, and there he was delighted to see the vibrancy of his own wife. He told the fisherman how he had been careful to feed first his wife and then the fisherman's wife meat of the tongue, but it hadn't worked. He begged the fisherman to reveal more of his secret. The fisherman laughed and he said, "Surely your wise men did not think that I meant the meat of an animal's tongue. My wife flourishes because in the evening we sit together, sharing nourishment in the form of jokes and songs and stories." Turning to his wife, the Sultan asked incredulously, "Is that why you thrive? Because of jokes and songs and stories?" His wife nodded, and at that moment, the Sultan resolved to change, and he did. And when they returned together to the palace, they began a new regime. Each evening, when the sky was painted red and sun slanted in through the windows of the palace, the Sultan and his wife sat together. At first, talking together felt awkward, but with practice they became increasingly comfortable, sharing stories of their lives. And now and then they joked or they sang together. And all around them, the servants and advisors noticed that even without new clothes or jewels, the Sultana sparkled and smiled more than ever before. And so too did the Sultan.
In place of the prayer today, I'd like to invite you to join me in a responsive reading, number 440, from the Fragmented World. I'll give you a minute to find it. Number 440. Please join me in reading the words in italics. From the fragmented world of our everyday lives, we gather together in search of wholeness. Selfish aims are separated from one another and divided from ourselves. Yet we know that no branch is utterly severed from the tree of life that sustains us all. We cherish our oneness with those around us and the countless generations that have gone before us. We would hold fast to all of good we inherit, even as we would leave behind us the outworn and the false. We would escape from bondage to the ideas of our own head and from the delusions of our own ignorance. Let us labor in hope for the dawning of a new day without hatred, violence, and injustice. In this spirit we gather, in this spirit we pray. We gather today with our cares still lingering from the week behind us, worries for the week ahead. We come holding milestones in our hearts, moments when our lives have changed. We bring our joys and our sorrows here, and we know that others have sorrowed, others have rejoiced, and that we are not alone. I invite you now to come forward now to light a candle for yourself, for a loved one, for a hope or a worry, for a milestone, a joy or a sorrow. Whatever you bring, know that we will witness it and hold it with you for a time. So we have a meditation hymn now. Number 66.
Our reading this morning is a map of balance and harmony. This is an excerpt from Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. This was written by Robin Wall Kimmerer. At the height of the summer, when the days are long and bright, and the thunders come to soak the ground, the lessons of reciprocity are written clearly in Three Sisters' Garden. Together, their stems inscribe what looks to me like a blueprint for the world, a map of balance and harmony. The corn stands 8 feet tall. Rippling green ribbons of leaf curl away from the stem in every direction to catch the sun. No leaf sits directly over the next, so that each can gather light without shading the others. The bean twines around the corn stalk, weaving itself between the leaves of corn, never interfering with their work. In the spaces where corn leaves are not, buds appear on the vining bean and expand into outstretched leaves and clusters of fragrant flowers. The bean leaves droop and are held close to the stem of the corn. Spread around the feet of the corn and beans is a carpet of big, broad squash leaves that intercept the light that falls among the pillars of corn. Their layered spacing uses the light, a gift from the sun, efficiently with no waste. The organic symmetry of forms belongs together. The placement of every leaf, the harmony of shapes speak their message. Respect one another. Support one another. Bring your gift to the world and receive the gift of others, and there will be enough for all. Thank you.
Well, good morning again. For those who don't know me, I'll just give a little of my history. I became a Unitarian Universalist back in the late 90s, and I started going to church at the UU Fellowship in Galveston County, which is a lay-led congregation. So we, as members of the church, always did the preaching, almost always. Sometimes we invited people to come in, but I did several sermons, and so I was going to share one today, but then I also found another one that I think I like better. It's written by Galen Gingrich, who was the minister at All Souls Unitarian Church in New York City. This comes from 2011, and I don't think he's there anymore, but he just has great readings. So I'm going to share this with you today. It's called The Practice of Faith. On Thursday evening of this past week, my wife, Holly Atkinson, and I attended a solo recital by the pianist, Michael Brown. He performed 4 etudes by Claude Debussy and Frank Schubert's Piano Sonata in D major. I found the performance unexpectedly satisfying and delightful, especially given the age of the pianist. My guess is that he's in his early to mid-20s. Most of the time, musicians distinguish themselves at an early age by dazzling with technique and astonishing with mastery of the instrument. Michael Brown passes muster on those counts, but the unexpected aspect of his playing lies in the interpretive subtlety with which he deploys his technical mastery. As a pianist, he has already developed a distinctive musical voice. The critical response to Michael Brown affirms his talent. He's won numerous competitions both as a pianist and a composer, played in notable concert halls and music festivals across the country, received coaching from leading international pianists and conductors, and been lauded by the New York Times and Gramophone magazine. In his copious free time, he's completing a double master's degree at Juilliard. I didn't have the opportunity after the recital to ask Michael Brown the question that was on my mind. How much does he practice, I wondered. As it turns out, I found the answer elsewhere. In Malcolm Gladwell's book titled Outliers, The Story of Success, Gladwell describes the 10,000-hour theory, originally proposed by the neurologist Daniel Levitin. According to his theory, top musicians, athletes, and chess players become masters in their field if they've accumulated 10,000 hours of practice by age 20. The landmark study on this topic examined violinists at the Academy of Music in Berlin. Students in the study were classified into 3 groups: stars who had the potential to become world-class soloists, students who were merely very good, and a 3rd group identified as proficient. All had started playing violin around age 5, and for the first few years, they all practiced 2 or 3 hours a week. After age 8, however, substantial differences emerged in the amount of time devoted to practice. By age 20, the stars had practiced a total of 10,000 hours, the very good violinist 8,000 hours, and the proficient group 4,000 hours. The same researchers studied amateur and professional pianists with similar results. Gladwell also cites the Beatles as a case in point. In their early days, especially during their time in Hamburg, Germany, the band played about 8 hours a night, 7 days a week. By the time they became famous, the Fab Four had already performed about 12,000 live concerts, and each concert represented 8 hours of rehearsal and performance. The math works out to 9,600 hours of practice. Gladwell concludes, once a musician has a certain level of ability, the thing that distinguishes one performer from another is how hard he or she works. That's it. On my way to Michael Brown's piano recital on Thursday evening, I dropped by the Mount Sinai School of Medicine for a lecture by Dr. Patricia Bloom titled Meditation as Medicine: What Neuroscience has to teach us about health and happiness. She spoke about how our modern lifestyle triggers the body's stress response, the ancient fight or flight mechanism designed to help us survive times of physical danger. Today, most of us find ourselves continually under stress, and the mechanism designed to save us is now killing us, literally. One of the best ways to turn off the body's stress response and to turn on the body's relaxation response is through the practice of meditation. Over the past decades, researchers have been studying people who practice mindfulness, the deep form of awareness developed through the disciplines such as meditation and prayer. The researchers have discovered that mindfulness literally changes the human brain. In particular, mindfulness develops the brain's capacity for experiencing happiness and fulfillment. In other words, the ancient sages who counseled us to practice the discipline of attentiveness and gratitude knew what they were talking about after all. Enlightenment isn't the process of acquiring specialized knowledge, it is the discipline of following a daily spiritual practice. The bottom line is this: if you want to excel at playing the piano, you need to practice the piano. If you want to feel happy and fulfilled, you need to practice mindfulness. If you want to practice enlightenment and thereby enjoy a sense of meaning and purpose, you need to practice your faith. Which means exactly what? Usually we talk about the practice of religion. What does it mean to practice your faith? What's the difference between faith and religion? In traditional terms, religion has usually been understood as a set of beliefs or a body of doctrine, which believers are called upon to accept as true. These beliefs are typically described in an inspired scripture and compiled into an authoritative creed. The liberal tradition in theology, initiated by Friedrich Schleiermacher in the late 18th century and clarified by William James in his lectures on religion at the dawn of the 20th century, insists that religion is not mainly a set of beliefs. Rather, religion is first and foremost a way of life. In my view, religion is the collection of external forms that constitutes this way of life. Sacred spaces where we find refuge, music to gladden our spirits, stories to restore our courage, symbols to remind us of commitments we have made, and daily rituals to renew our resolve. The meaning of the word religion traces back to a Latin verb meaning to bind. Early monastic Christians were called religious because they had taken sacred vows and were bound by solemn orders. This early form of the word religion confirms that religion is a way of life. Here's the key point. If religion is the journey, then faith is the compass. As many of you know, I describe faith as a leap of the moral imagination that connects the world as it is to the world as it might become. Faith looks at what is and imagines what might be. It is a leap of the moral imagination that sets a course for our religious journey. But where does faith come from? What is its source? Like music or mindfulness, faith comes from practice, a daily spiritual discipline that sparks our moral imagination and sets our moral compass. I lost my spot. In my view, religion is the collection of external forms that constitute this way of life. I already said that. The meaning of the word religion traces back to a Latin verb meaning to bind. Early monastic Christians were called religious because they had taken sacred vows and were bound by solemn orders. This early form of the word religion confirms that religion is a way of life. Here is the key point. I may be repeating, sorry. If religion is the journey, then faith is the compass. As many of you know, I describe faith as a leap of the moral imagination that connects the world as it is to the world it might become. Faith looks at what it is and imagines what might be. It is a leap of the moral imagination that sets course for our religious journey. But where does faith come from? What is its source? Like music or mindfulness, faith becomes the practice, a daily spiritual discipline that sparks our moral imagination and sets our moral compass. The irony is that the liberal tradition in religion, which rightly frees religion from dogmatic bondage and insists that religion is a way of life, has often been lax when it comes to spiritual practice. It is my deep conviction, however, that if we intend to be people of faith, we must practice our faith. Many of you share this view. During our recent strategic planning process, you expressed a hunger for a deeper spiritual experience. Many newcomers and new members express a similar desire. We instinctively know that faith needs practice. So does religion, of course, which is the sum total of everything we do on the journey. Come to church, take a class, feed the homeless, advocate for nuclear disarmament, and so on. The practice of faith is a specialized experience during which we imagine a better world and set our moral compass to reach it. Some of you are already beginning to squirm. You've done the math. 10,000 hours of spiritual practice over 15 years is fine if your goal is to become, say, Pema Chodron or the Dalai Lama. Truth be told, the Dalai Lama practices 4 hours each day, and some of the monks studied by neuroscientists have accumulated more than 30,000 hours of meditation practice. Brain studies show that intensive practice of this kind causes significant changes in the brain, such as increased gamma wave activity, especially in the left prefrontal cortex, the region of the brain associated with happiness and positive thoughts and emotions. Studies also suggest that some of these changes to the brain are permanent. The good news is that these positive benefits begin to accrue after meditating for short periods of time over as little as 8 weeks. My goal, at least for now, is to suggest a modest approach, a daily spiritual practice that will serve to spark our moral imaginations and set our moral compasses, but without forcing us to turn into monks or nuns. Fortunately, we have a model to guide us, a practice of focused meditation known in Latin as lectio divina, or divine reading. Originally developed by 3rd century Christians as a way to read scripture, it was adopted by many of our 19th century Unitarian predecessors as a means of spiritual formation. Some termed the practice devotional reading, which Henry Ware Jr. described as reading not for knowledge, but for your life. Ralph Waldo Emerson called it provocative reading, an approach to reading spiritual texts designed to provoke us into new ways of thinking and living. Taking the practice of devotional or provocative reading as a template, I have further adapted the practice for our use. The practice is quite straightforward. Take a short text, read it over several times, then meditate upon its meaning for your life. Remember that your purpose is to provoke. You should come away thinking about your life in a slightly different way. You can do this practice anywhere you happen to be, at any time of day, for however long you choose. The practice itself, which I'm calling Common Meditation for All Souls, has 4 elements: reading, reflection, intention, and contemplation. By the way, you don't need to keep notes about this practice. As long as you leave the sanctuary today, ushers will hand you a sheet that summarizes the process and offers short readings for each day of this week. Beginning next Sunday, you'll be able to receive the readings by email if you wish. And I have to say here that he used to send those out on email, and he doesn't anymore. I used to read them, and it was very interesting. As you begin the practice each day, sit comfortably and take a few deep breaths to remind your body that it's time to focus. The first step is reading. Read the text carefully, several times, preferably aloud. For example, take these few lines from W.H. Auden's poem titled, "Leap Before You Look." The sense of danger must not disappear. The way is certainly both short and steep. However gradual it looks from here, look if you like, but you will have to leap. The second step is to reflect. Ask yourself which word or phrase provokes your attention, perhaps the word gradual, or the phrase sense of danger, or the declaration you will have to leap. Why that word or that phrase? You may wish to jot the word or phrase in a journal, reflect for a short time on the word or phrase, and ponder what it evokes in you. Maybe everything about your life seems gradual right now, or perhaps you're feeling at risk in some way. Make a note or two. The third step is intention. Ask yourself what purpose your reading and reflection suggest for this day. Set a specific intention that you can reasonably fulfill. Maybe you identify one small leap that you can make today. Perhaps jot it down. The final step is contemplation, in which you expand your awareness from intention to gratitude. Remind yourself that the world is full of untapped wisdom and your life is full of unrealized potential. Note a couple of things for which you're especially grateful. If you wish, end your practice with the final 2 lines of the All Souls benediction. This is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. If we practice provocative reading faithfully, this personal spiritual practice will help spark our moral imagination and set our moral compass as individuals. But the practice also has a larger purpose. Since, ideally at least, we will all be reading the same short text on the same day, this practice will help unite us as a community of faith. Over time, my hope is that the themes of these daily texts can become interwoven throughout the life of our congregation. They will form part of the common conversation we share as fellow travelers on our religious journey. Reading, reflection, intention, contemplation. I hope you give this common meditation a try. The purpose of this practice is provocative, to spark your moral imagination and set your moral compass. Even from the outset, you'll find yourself on the path of being morally happier and spiritually more fulfilled. As the Dalai Lama himself says, the most important thing is practice in daily life. Then you can know gradually the true value of religion. Look if you like, but you will have to leap. Let's see. Oh, thanks. We have another responsive reading, number 727. Number 727. There it is. It's called Food for the Spirit. Please read the words in italics. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Here's the fruit of the vine, pressed and poured out for us. Let all who thirst now come to drink.
We come to break bread. We come to drink the fruit of the vine. We come to make peace.
May we never praise God with our mouths while denying in our hearts or by our acts the love that is our common speech. I know that I am worthy. I know that I am welcome. All are worthy.
All are welcome.
Come into the embrace and remembrance of this communion. It's time now for us to accept our offering. Please give as is good for you. And if it's your first visit, your presence is enough. Please join me in blessing the offering. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world.
Before our announcements today, Robert Tomlinson has an announcement to make.
I didn't realize I'd be leading off.
Yes.
For those who do not know me, my name is Bob Tomlinson, and I am one of the founders of the Amnesty International chapter in this area. Pardon me. And I'm here to invite you to tomorrow night's meeting. And it's a Zoom meeting, and it's going to be about Medicare for All. We're going to have people here, or at least one speaker. It'll be from National Nurses United. They're one of the major organizations pushing for the passage of this legislation. In the back, I have some pieces of paper. Tell a little bit about this organization. You have to forgive me, I got a frog in my throat here. But I have some pieces of paper in the back that has a QR code. If you scan that, you can register, and sometime tomorrow afternoon, you will receive a link so you can get to our meeting. The meeting starts at 6, the program starts at 6:30. And there will be not only a talk, but there will be a Q&A session. We usually end by 7:30, but if there's enough interest shown, we'll go to 7:45. So let me see where I am here. So,
Zoom meeting?
I'm sorry, Zoom meeting? Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Medicare for All. And let's talk about our current health situation. Right now, with our current health situation, we have between 400,000 and 500,000 people each year declaring medical bankruptcy. We have millions more that are in medical debt. We have people who are insured, but their deductibles are so high, some as much as $10,000 or $20,000. They may have coverage, but they're also in debt. This cannot continue. I don't know if Medicare for All is the answer, but I'll tell you this, it's the starting of a question. We cannot continue like this. One of the things that bothers me is that we have people that say that we're a Christian nation. We've always been a Christian nation. We believe in Jesus and all of these other things. That bothers me. Whenever we have a country that's the only country in the industrial world that does not recognize health care as a human right. What does that say about these people? Especially on the far right. Tells me that they're pseudo-Christians. Especially when you look at the actions of Jesus, the person that they're supposed to exemplify. What did he do? He made house calls, he healed the sick, and he never charged anyone. I'll get off my soapbox, but listen, y'all come to our meeting tomorrow night via Zoom. I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. The mission of Bay Area Unitarian Universalist Church is to change lives and heal our world. There are many ways to get involved and help build beloved community. As always, you'll find more information in Tuesday's email, the order of service insert, and our newsletter. But today I will begin the announcements for today. There's a lot happening at BAUUC today. Join us for coffee and fellowship immediately after the service in Cockrell Hall. This is at 12:30. At 12:30 also, the Service and Justice Ministry meets in the library. Anyone interested in helping us put our UU values into action is welcome to attend. Also at 12:30, you're invited to join us for lunch at Hunan Star. Then at 4 o'clock, our Buddhist meditation group meets here in our sanctuary. Bowling. On Tuesday, August 4th, families are invited to join us for Family Bowling Night at Main Event in Webster. Our Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans, CUPS, group meets this Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. in the sanctuary. All paths are welcome. This Saturday, all 5th through 8th graders are invited to our back-to-school bash in the youth room. Bring your Nintendo Switch, come hang out, and play games. Next Sunday, be sure to bring your backpack or briefcase or for the annual blessing of the backpacks. We celebrate this tradition during the time for all ages. Okay. Then at 12:30 p.m., families, parents, and children are invited to our family potluck lunch. This is in Cockrell Hall. Come and enjoy good food, conversation, and connection while the children play and parents enjoy an opportunity to visit and share parenting tips and ideas with one another. We hope you can join us. There are always more opportunities to connect here at BAUUC than we can fit into these announcements. To stay connected by email, sign up on our website or in the guest book, which is just outside the sanctuary. And now, would you please join us for coffee and fellowship in Cockrell Hall, and that's immediately after the service today. If you're new to BAUUC, you can find Cockrell Hall in the east wing of the building. It's just, when you go through the foyer, it's just down the hallway, past most of the classrooms. And we do hope you will stay and spend a little more time in community with us. Now, our closing song is number 67, We Sing Now Together. Would you please stand and join?
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go in peace. for that. That is so much easier than blowing